Click the go live button. Who would have guessed? Who would have guessed? Who would have thunk? Who would have guessed? And who would have thunk? Who would have knew? It's look who it's look who knows. True. I do need to get my headphones though. Lamau. Okay, headphones acquired. The Emmerdale will be gone in a moment. So, I will explain what it is that we're doing here. There is an event in Girls Frontline called Point and Care Recurrence. I'm probably saying that wrong. I am very used to pronouncing things poorly. However, in that event, once you beat it, you unlock a mission, a mode, that you can build up points in, and the points are continuous through how many times you do the level. Now, the goal is to kill as many enemies as possible, establish a supply line, gain lots of points very quickly, score highly in the event, and get lots of cool stuff, lots of nice bonuses and boosts. However, and this is true and real, this is a perfectly balanced game that, how do I put this? I'll show you. I'll explain it as we go along. So we're just gonna jump into it. And yes, I did get the emulator working, so that's very nice. All right, so I sound fine. Game sounds fine. Time to listen to music on my phone. Okay, so essentially, how it works is there's a little event down here. City of Nightmares, and I have 200,000 points, basically. I need to get 5 million points. Oh boy, oh goody. Now, how I thought you were supposed to do it, and I'll walk you through it, is I thought you were supposed to go to the event itself. Crazy, I know. We're really breaking new ground here. But what I thought you were supposed to do, and I suppose what you can do if you want to, is you're supposed to go here, go down into this thing right here, and you're gonna see real quick that this is rough. So there's just random enemies just randomly around that are like, you know, 300,000 combat, 240,000 combat, and you have to like navigate around these things because they will chase you if you get too close. And basically what I was doing is I was just killing little dude here, little dude there. Some of my echelons are powerful enough to deal with some of the bigger boys, like the 45k, the 48k. My rifle team is surprisingly good. You know, you've got Corn, and then you've got the vegetarian wife, and the various handguns in the echelon. They managed to handle this pretty well. Now, the problem is, this is the supply line, you lead it to the base back here, and you gain a lot of points. Now, that's what I was doing, and I was spending thousands of resources in the process of doing this. It was bad, it wasn't getting me much points, and I was like, wow, how am I gonna do this? So, one of the things, and we'll just do it with like a random echelon, we'll just do it with like a random echelon, this one will work. Just for the purposes, and I also had all my hawks out, and they were just like orbital bombarding like every enemy, right? Like BGM 71, 2B14, and AGS 30, like just absolutely going ham. Really cool. Never had something bring them up before. I haven't played in a couple years, you know. So I was going ham, I was having fun, I was like, oh, this is gonna be a horrible grind. That's when I looked it up to see if there were any tips. And I'm not going to read this carefully, because if I read it carefully the first time, I might have figured it out on my own. But you see, I looked up a grinding guide for this, like, you know, to see if there was something obvious that I was missing here. And the grinding guide is 40 seconds long. And I was like, oh god, oh no. And so, what I did was a Dandelion right here. What she can do is she can turn this radar into anything. She can turn the radar into a bunch of different stuff, right? And so I turned it into an EMP tower, so I was throwing EMP grenades at some of the more dangerous guys to prevent them from chasing me so I could establish a supply line. And everything that you do in this event either gains or loses points for you. And so what you can do is you can turn this into whatever you want, and then you can go about your day trying to kill as many of these enemies as possible, right? That's not what we're going to be doing, okay? We're going to be doing something much easier, much simpler. We're going to be going here. We're going to be going all the way down to the bottom to this, the detonate. We're going to click this button. It's going to give us 20,000 points. We're going to end it immediately. And then that's what we're going to be doing for this entire stream, because I want every item in the game, or not every item in the game, but I want every item in the loot thing. So I don't want to be spending resources a lot for this, so we're just gonna switch the echelon to a single handgun, and then that'll be that. That's the stream, everybody. Now, why am I streaming this? I have no idea. What handgun are we going to use? We're going to use Say, of course. Absolutely based. And we'll just make her the #1 echelon real quick, just so I don't have to worry about it too much. And yes, we're going to be doing this 77 times, so we have 76 more to go. I don't actually know how to... I wish I had, like, something that would track it. But, yeah, we gotta do that. Well, we gotta do it less than 77 times, but 77 times is if you're doing it just, like, completely fresh, and you don't have any points already. So, we'll see. So you just, again, just down here, detonate. We get 20,000 points, and then combat settlement. And then it'll give us 70,000 right there. Yeah. Alright. You'll love to see it. Alright. So, I was thinking, what are some of the things... I do need a way to, like, track this, though. Like, I wonder if I could get, like, something on my phone that I could just press it, and it will add, like, +1. That's not gonna work. I opened the calculator. But, so I think some of the stuff that I was thinking about is I haven't talked... well, I've never really done, like, an update video, if that makes sense, on how, like, the channel's doing and all that. So, I really do need to... I really need to have some sort of, like, punch method figured out where I can just, like... I've figured it out. Okay. So this is our 4th one? Alright. I now have a way of tracking it. I'm using laps on my stopwatch, so I'll just hit the lap button every time we do it. But, basically... And I just realized that I don't think Say is like losing resources at all, so there's literally no cost to this. It's just Say chillin'. But I've never really done like an update video before on like the channel and where I'm thinking of taking it. And honestly, I don't really know. Like there's a few things that I've been thinking about with the channel, and I've talked about it a little bit. And once we get into our rhythm of doing this, I'll probably be able to speak more coherently. But, basically, if I can get a good, like, upload work ethic with World of Horror, the daily World of Horror never theoretically has to end. But if I keep having this sort of, like, weird, I do it whenever I have free time sort of thing, then that's when it'll get a little, like... That's when it'll get a little, tricky, I guess you could say. So, for instance, if I, Oh, whoops. I don't want to collect anything yet. I just want to keep doing this. Because right now what I do is... Oh, nice. That's gonna happen a few times. The emulator is very unstable. It's very sick. But, basically, what I currently do with World of Horror is it's just whenever I have free time, you know? Does that make sense? It's like, I'll be going through my day, and it's like, okay, I've got like 30 minutes, I've got like an hour, I can do it. And that's not bad. That's not like a big deal. It's not, the problem that I have with it is that yeah, it's not a big deal, it's very time consuming for the day. And I guess the problem that I have with it is that, like, it's something that I do have to dedicate, like, a bit of time to. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just that I don't want to do that every day. I don't want to have that, like, time dedication done every day. So, it can be... It's weird to talk about, right? Because I'm not used to actually talking about it. I'm just used to just doing it and uploading it. But there are other things that I want to spend some of my free time on in my day, and I think that's completely understandable. I think everybody kind of gets that. And so it really just comes down to the point, like, can I put aside, I don't know, like, a few hours of like a Friday or a Saturday when I'm, like, not busy, and then just do the daily World of Horror, and then that's it. And then I'll have stuff for the entire week. Like, if that's... like, if I can get into a work ethic... Well, I don't want to say work ethic, because I don't do it as work. It's more appropriate to say, like... But I guess work ethic does inspire, or... It comes across with exactly what I want it to say, I guess. Because it is a... It's not like a job. I've said that before. I don't do or think of it as a job or anything like that. But it does take a considerable amount of time out of my day, and that could be stuff that I could be working on other videos, or I could be working on, like, Warhammer stuff. And so it's an interesting idea, honestly. I'm not entirely sure. But I definitely do want to do stuff like, I want to get, like, the retro tink, and I want to get some sort of camera. It might be, like, I know a lot of, what is it, like, VTubers use the iPhone 10 as a camera, because that's, like, a super good camera. Something like that, where I just could kind of, like, mount it on a desk or something, and then have it, like, pointed at, like, a miniature, and just, like, painting the minifigurine. All that stuff could be really fun. But obviously, you do have to think about, from, you know, my perspective, of that, yeah, like, the reason why this channel is, well, I don't want to say popular, because, come on, as far as the internet is concerned, this is not anything, but the reason why this channel is as popular as it is literally just because of World of Horror, and that's what people want to watch. So I do definitely know that if I tone down the World of Horror stuff, then people would be less inclined to watch, which is completely fine. You know, I do this as a hobby after all, and so it's what I want to make that's important. But I do think there is some value, though. Like, it would be remiss of me to, like, not acknowledge the value that the World of Horror does have, right? Like, I have had people reach out to me privately, basically just to say I really like it, you know? And that it's a part of their day. And I've had people publicly reach out and say that, too. And obviously, the videos get consistent views, and a good portion of the people who watch the videos are subscribed. So, that is like that's like a true and real statement. So it's very important to me to at least like acknowledge that and be like, yeah, I wouldn't want to necessarily kill that for something, because I do enjoy World of Horror. We were talking about it on the Discord last night, is that for some reason, despite being an anti-roguelite in a lot of the in a lot of traditional roguelite ways, World of Horror has had more staying power than most games I've ever played. Also, I have not been hitting that lap button, hold up. But yeah, it has way more staying power than a lot of games I've played. Like, I'm trying to think, right? Like, what is a roguelite that I've played excessively? And really, I can just think of, like, Risk of Rain 2, which is a roguelite that has, like, an ending. Multiple endings. And also, like, Rogue... What is it? Loop Hero? Yeah, I liked Loop Hero. But pretty much just Risk of Rain 2 and Loop Hero are the only two roguelites I can think of. I was never really a big Binding of Isaac guy. If, that is pretty funny, I will say, though. That I watched, like, so much of Northernlion playing Binding of Isaac. I just never played the game. I own it, though. I don't know which one I own, because there's, like, a bunch of them. But, it is very weird, right? But, yeah, no, like, for the roguelites that I've played, World of Horror, Risk of Rain 2, Loop Hero, what was the one that was the tower defense one? That was pretty good. The tower defense one. Do you have any little idea how that narrows it down? That is not the statement, by the way. I will 100% say that right now. Hello, Dandelion. Goodbye, Dandelion. But yeah, no, just for some reason, World of Horror has had more sticking power with me than 90% of the games that I play. Right? Like, it probably is my 5th or 6th most played game of all time. You know, when I was, the games that I've probably played more than World of Horror, and I do not have accurate playtimes for this because Xbox 360 did not track your playtime, at least to my knowledge, is I've probably played more Dragon Age Origins, Mass Effect 2, Dark Souls 1, Prepare to Die, on all platforms. And then, what would it be? Dark Souls 1, Mass Effect 2, Dragon Age Origins, and then it would probably be... There's another one. World of Horror surpassed TF2 and Dota 2 recently. So, I'm not entirely sure, actually. There's probably another one that I'm forgetting. I mean, Girls Frontline, if you count that. I mean, it's a mobile game, and it's a grindy mobile game. So, like, you know, I've probably put an ungodly amount of time into this. Oh, Final Fantasy XIV, obviously. That's the elephant. That's the elephant in the room. I didn't even notice it. Like, I have played so much fucking Final Fantasy XIV, it's not even funny. I think it's, like, almost 100 days, and that's, like, playtime, alright? That's not counting, like, you know, out-of-game time, or, like, whatever. That's, like, raw playing. Like, 96, like, almost 100 hours. I think it was 96 last time I checked. But, like, that's insane. But, Dragon Age Origins... I have played that game so excessively on the Xbox 360, it's not even funny. How do I put it? So, Dragon Age Origins on the Xbox 360, it had a save cap of 10 characters, right? I have played that game so many times that I have beaten it on every character file that the game has, all 10 of them, and then I have overwritten the 10 save files multiple times and beaten the game on those overridden save files. That is how much I've played it. And so it's like absolutely ludicrous the amount of times that I have played Dragon Age Origins. It truly is insane how many times I've beaten that game. I don't think I've done all of the characters. What's hilarious is most of the time I just played a human fighter. But I did I did get quite a lot of the endings. But I never 100%ed the game. I wanted to do that on PC. Now I own it on PC, and I have a mod that allows you to take dog with you at all times. So dog is just a companion member always. That's based. But yeah, no, I played Dragon Age Origins way too much, and I have also played Mass Effect 2. I think I have played less so than, I think I've played Mass Effect 2 less than Dragon Age Origins, but I've still played it a lot. I've played it a lot. I've beaten Mass Effect 2 probably, like, over 10 times easily. I've played Mass Effect 2 a lot. I've played Mass Effect 1 a lot, but I think I've only beaten it probably, like, 4 or 5 times. Mass Effect 3, I think I've beaten twice. Maybe once. That probably tells you what I fucking think about Mass Effect 3. Oh my god. The only thing I liked about Mass Effect 3 was the, whatchamacallit, the multiplayer. The multiplayer was unironically fucking amazing in Mass Effect 3. I love that shit. It's still, I've heard that some people still play it, but oh my god. I would absolutely love to play Mass Effect 3's multiplayer again. I am so sad they released that fucking game. They made a Mass Effect 3 remaster and they did not re-release the multiplayer? Fiends. Absolute fiends. Ridiculous. Unironically, I love the Mass Effect 3 multiplayer. It was so good. It was a third-person shooter wave defense where all the character abilities were wacky as shit. And it was so great. I was mad about that, because, you know, I never got the, what is it, like, the Quarian? I wanted to play as the Quarians so badly, because they're, like, my favorite race in Mass Effect. But I never unlocked them, and so I was just a Krogan main. I was a Krogan main the whole time. That shit was great. But, yeah, no, I absolutely love the Mass Effect 3 multiplayer. Absolutely goated part. But, Dark Souls 1, I have played a lot, for sure. I have no idea how long, though, because I have, like, 300 hours on the Steam version, I think. That sounds about right. And then I probably have, like, 1,000 hours on the PS3 version. And then I have, like, 8 hours on the Xbox version, and then I have, like, 3 hours on the Switch version. I need to beat the game on the Switch. But, I don't know, like, I always wanted to try Dark Souls 1 speedrunning, because I always loved, like, the little tricks you do to, like, get through the catacombs really fast. Not the catacombs, sorry. What is the thing before the catacombs of the giants? The, actually, what is it called? The, it's the catacombs of the giants, and then, but what's before that? The part with all the skeletons. I don't actually know. Off the top of my head, I don't know. Huh. But yeah, I always wanted to try Dark Souls 1 speedrunning. I thought that'd be really fun. After that, yeah, it's probably World of Horror. World of Horror is probably in, like, 5th or 6th place. And honestly, that's pretty neat. That's pretty cool. And I honestly have no idea why or how. There are a lot of games that I've played. It's never the game that you think it is. I swear to God, it's never the game you think it is. I have played so many games that I'm like, oh my god, this is like one of my favorite games of all time. I love this shit, and then I never touch it again. Right? I had to force myself to finish Loop Hero, and that is not the fault of Loop Hero. That is my fault for being like an idiot, right? But, it's crazy. It really is crazy. Like, I was thinking to myself, like, oh my god, you know, I have no idea. Like, there are so many games that I buy, and then I'm like, okay, this is the game that I'm gonna play forever, and then I end up, like, playing it for, like, a couple hours, never touching it again. And then there will be a game that I just randomly come across that I'm like, oh, this game kind of fucking sucks. And then I end up putting, like, thousands and thousands of hours in it. Like Girls Frontline. When I got into Girls Frontline because of, Valhalla, VA-11 Hall A, but that's a mouthful, so we just call it Valhalla. One of the best visual novels ever. I will be subjective in that. I love Valhalla. Love me Ba. Love me Adelheid. Love me optional Comatrine. Simple as. But, you know, I absolutely adore Valhalla. I love it. It's the only series that I actively seek out merchandise for. It's the only series that I, like, actively care about merchandise. Right? Like, when I saw the J Nendoroid, I was like, oh, yeah. But, yeah, no, like, how do I put it? Absolutely goated Valhalla. I absolutely love it. Favorite visual novel of all time. One of my favorite games of all time. Love Valhalla. I replay it almost every Christmas. I didn't replay it last Christmas because I was cringe, but I'm planning on replaying it this Christmas. Valhalla is a Christmas game. But I don't follow along the daily Valhalla though. No. But Valhalla is a Christmas game. I love me Valhalla. Love me boss. Love me optional. I already did this bit. I'm stopping before I finish the bit again. But I got into Girls Frontline because of Valhalla, and I was like, you know, when I first started playing the game, I'm like, you know, yeah, you're on the playmat that everybody had as a kid. It's a pretty simple game. The character designs are fucking inspired, but I don't know if this has any real staying power for me. I'll probably just play it, get characters who are strong enough to do the Valhalla event, and then that will be the end, and I will stop right there, right? Now here's the funny bit, okay? Here's the haha funny joke bit. I played Girls Frontline for like a year and a half. I played Girls Frontline a lot, and it took up a lot of my life, and it was my main game for a while. Although I stopped playing it around the time I started playing Final Fantasy XIV, because I wisely decided that I only wanted one live service, and that, well, that's true and real. I wisely decided that I only wanted one live service, and that was the smart thing to do. So, but here we are. I'm back. I saw, what was her name? MG388? That's probably wrong. She's the new one from Point Care Recurrence. People call her the Tryhard, specifically because what she does is, so normally for MGs in this game, they have to reload after shooting for a little bit, which is their balance mechanism, because MGs are ridiculously fucking strong, and they would be too powerful if they didn't, you know, if they didn't do the thing. If they didn't reload, MGs would be overpowered. So they have a reload mechanic, but this new gun, she doesn't, because what she ends up doing is she won't reload until she tops the DPS charts, which I just absolutely love. Like, I love that so much. So she literally does not, she has unlimited ammo until she does the most damage. And then after that, she can then reload, which I think is so funny. But, so I played the game again. Well, not exclusively because of her, but my friend, she plays Arknights, and she was telling me all about Arknights, right? Like, she was going into it, she was showing me the new event, and I was like, Girls Frontline is having a new event, I wonder what that's like. And so it made me, you know, it made me pay attention to the game again, download the updates, look at the new characters, look at the equipment, and then I saw something that really sealed the deal, and I'm going to show it to you right now because it's relevant to this live stream. So, I've talked about this before, but there's a gun in this game called SR3MP, but I've heard her called Shrimp once, and so I like that name a lot. So I just call her Shrimp by default now. Now the thing about her is that she is an SMG, which means that she's supposed to be a tank, well, she can either be an evasion tank, a shield tank, or a grenadier. Shrimp is none of those things, and because I like Scrimblow characters who do random things and don't do what they're supposed to do, I really like Shrimp. She is a damage-focused gun. Her entire focus is on dealing as much DPS as possible, with the ethos being, I don't have to dodge if, I don't have to dodge if they're all dead. And so right here, you can see... Oh, I just got it. Lamau. But, I wanted to... She has a unique equipment that is tied exclusively to this event, as you can see right here. We just got it. Oh, you have to click on all of them individually, don't you? Yeah, okay. Well, right now we're between 8 and 9. I want to get up to 12 so that I can get all of them. But, anyways. I really like her because she's literally like an SMG that she's supposed to dodge, but she doesn't dodge. She has terrible dodge. Her entire purpose is to kill the enemy before she has to dodge, which I think is very cool. I like units that completely circumvent the idea of what they're supposed to be, and she's pretty decent. So, when I saw that this limited time event that you have to do only after you beat every mission in the Point Care Recurrence event, the score, and then you unlock City of Nightmares, which is the scoring event. When I saw that, I was like, I really don't want to miss it. Because this game, Girls Frontline, is a very, what is it, FOMO, fear of missing out? Because there will be an event that has, like, an equipment or a gun. And then if you miss that event, or you don't complete that event in time, then you don't get the thing. Like, you just don't get it. And it might come back, like, 2 years later. Which is actually really funny, because the guns that I missed, because I dipped out in, like, mid-Isomer? Was that it? It was, like, after Turbulence, and it was after the other one. I don't remember what it was, but it was, like, it was the 3rd or 4th major event that the game got. I dipped out after that, or during it. So a lot of the guns that I missed, based on the events that I skipped years ago, are now coming back in rotation. And I think that's very funny. So I'm having an opportunity to get a lot of the things that I missed. But if you miss, like, this, who knows when the Witch Fairy will be... I don't know if the Witch Fairy will ever be back. I don't know if the Shrimp barrel will go to, like, the exploration thing, and you can buy it for, like, what is it, forest gifts or whatever, but I don't know. And I don't want to miss it because it's a gun that I like using. So... Where's the Arknight stream? Never. Absolutely never. We are exploiting the mechanics in Girls Frontline so that I can get an item that I've already gotten, but I want all of the rewards, so we're just exploiting the mechanic even further, because a very balanced game. Also, there's no chat box. I forgot to set the chat box up? Very cringe. Actually, I should just be able to add it right now, right? Just do a little add. And then add source. Where is it? Chat box. Super chat. No. There we go. Add source. There we go. Acquired. How dare you? How dare you? I will never apologize for, whatchamacallit. I will never apologize for not playing a gacha game. Listen, Ham, there's... I could not handle Arknight's Girls Frontline and the critically acclaimed Final Fantasy XIV. Whoops. Also, I've missed, like, 3 laps, so we'll just tap those now. Now, I do realize I never really explained what I was doing here, because it's very funny. So, this map is designed, or I don't think I ever properly explained it. This map is designed for you to kill monsters so that you can gain points. And the more points you get, the easier it is to rank up in the event. But here's the thing, the points are cumulative, and they give you Dandelion. Now, Dandelion, once per game, can turn a radar. This is the only radar here. She can turn the radar into a bunch of different shit, and depending on how you use these things, they give you points. Now, if you go down here to the detonate, the black module, detonate, if you go down to this one, you use it, it just gives you 20,000 points immediately. So, you take the 20,000 points, which calculates to 70,000 points in the thing, and then you just rinse and repeat over and over and over again until you have over 5 million points. So, haha, very funny. And that high score thing there was my legitimate attempt, which went horribly wrong. Very, very badly. It did not go well. I think I lost a lot of points because of how poorly it went. Because you can lose points. But that only matters if you're actually playing the game. So here we go. 20,000 in the back pocket. But yeah, what was I saying about the World of Horror stuff? I don't know. I think that World of Horror has way more sticking power for me than it probably should have. And it's never the game that you think it is. It's absolutely never the game that you think it is. You know, you'll look at something and be like, you know, this indie game looks cool. I've been following it for a while. I guess I'll pick it up and I'll try to play it, right? However, you actually, like, get in there and you play it, and then you're like, oh yeah, that's alright. That's pretty fun. I'll probably do like 30 videos on it. Because that was pretty, like, 30 videos was about what I did with Arc Noir. And then, you know, 800 episodes later, and here we are. It's look who it is. I should probably be paying more attention to what we actually have. Where are we at? I'm not even gonna... We need to do this like 70 times. That's what I've internalized. We're doing it 70 times. Even if that is completely excessive. I want to get every... Like, the basic rewards we've already got way past the milestone for. The Witch Fairy and the Shrimp Barrel. But, you know... And then you just click that. Combat over. Very nice. Let's see, what else did I want to talk about? I don't know, I felt like I wanted to talk about more. But I really am just getting into that, like, no thoughts, head empty, City of Nightmares, confirmed start. Place down the character. Place down Sei Asagiri. Oh yeah, play Valhalla, it's really good. Valhalla is really good. Oh, hello, Dandelion. Apparently the teleporter gives you more. I guess we could try the teleporter for fun. But there's probably a reason why they don't choose the teleporter in the guide. I mean, we can end it at any time, so if the teleporter takes you to, like, fucking Narnia and you immediately die, like, we can just end it before we die, so... We might as well try it. Where's the skip button? It's right there. On ammo? Gotcha. I'll internalize that. Let's do it. That gives you... Oh, that just gives you 20,000! Oh, it's probably because you have to move to use it, right? Wait, teleport? Oh, you can teleport back here at any time. Very funny. Okay, they give you literally the exact same points. That's hilarious. We're gonna use the teleporter from now on. Because it's less clicking. It's still... 70k is 70k, you know? But, what a weird event. I mean, here's the thing, don't get me wrong, I'm absolutely glad that I can actually do this and get the character that I want. But after this, like, once we get all of the rewards for this, I'm going to, whatchamacallit, end the stream, and then I'm either gonna go do some Warhammer stuff, or I'm going to grind for some of the reward, like, random drop dolls, which is painful. Incredibly so. I don't even want to think about that, but I want what is her name? Colibri? I don't remember, but she's cool. Also, hold on, I need to hit the lap button 2 more times. 2. Oh yeah, I made another Thanksgiving thing. It was a casserole. It turned out fine, but I don't know. It was a little much, I think. Like, you ever have something like that where you make it and you're like, oh yeah, this is fine, but then you actually, like, get into it and it's like, eh. Like, it's fine, it tastes good, it's not really a big deal, but it's just not, like, the best thing you've ever had, and it's just, like, a lot, and then it's like, eh. But yeah, let's see. Fun ideas, fun ideas. Because I am, like, devolving into the Gachapon grind brain, where it's just, like, so-called free thinker. But, Dark Souls speedrunning would be fun. I would like to try it at least once. I don't know if we would do it this year or next year. And I know saying that, you're like, whoa, Web, that's a long way away. No, it's not. It's like, how many more days? It's like 35? That's not too crazy. So, yeah. But, let's see. So, a Dark Souls speedrun thing would be fun, because I've always wanted to try it. And I actually did try it. I tried speedrunning Dark Souls on the Switch, on a plane. Because I wanted to see if I could beat Dark Souls before... I wanted to see if I could beat Dark Souls before my plane landed. Which, I gave up because I was on a plane and I felt sick, and so I just put the Switch away and closed my eyes. Oh. I hate airplanes. I really do. But that's okay. Playing it in the trying to speedrun it in a controlled environment could be pretty fun. Isn't that convenient? Look at that. We're speeding up. Also, excuse me, I thought I hit skip on that song. Spotify playlist, you piece. But you know, this really do be a city of nightmare, though. The thing that's really funny is that I remember, because the EN version of the game is like a year and a half behind the main version of the game. Like, we get the strats, right? Like, we get told by, like, players on the main server, like, hey, this is what you're gonna have to deal with in the future. Raise these guns, because they might not be good now, but they're gonna be good later, and you're not gonna want to have to grind this shit when the event's going off. And I remember hearing, like, oh yeah, you gotta get MP5 up, you gotta get our Mod 3, and now all that stuff is out, and it's like, well, I do not have the resources to do that right now. And so it's like, I don't think I'll be able to do the scoring event, but haha, very funny. Teleporter go burr. I have done nothing but teleport bread for the last 3 days. Do they make dandelion bread? Like, they make flour bread. And I know that sounds like absolutely fucking insane, because bread is made out of flour, which is the same, which is said in the same way as flowers, the plant. But you know what I mean. Like, they make, we're just gonna stop that bit. We're gonna stop that bit, and it's gonna be really, really not funny. So we're just gonna stop it ahead of time, and then I'm gonna talk about something else. Let's see. Well, I already talked about the Karen paint. I'm trying not to overlap with World of Horror anecdotes. Whoops. Dandelion's got the drip, by the way. But let's see. I still want to play that fucking Made in Abyss game. I don't know why, but I see it there and I'm like, yes, yes, me, the sicko. 3 million? Alright, we're getting there. Also, I cannot believe that, like, how different this is from doing what I was originally doing of, like, running around trying to kill these enemies and then having to, like, you know, like, swap my echelons out because they were getting weak and I didn't want to repair them. Like, that's, like, unhinged. But I really could stop at this point, because, like, I don't even know. What are the other rewards? I'm not entirely sure. Let's see. Oh, damn, look at all those training data. Okay, hold on. That might be worth it. Petri dish. We almost have enough for this. We're almost there. Oh my god. Let's collect... No, I want to collect them all at the same time, because it'll be more satisfying that way. But this is definitely a lot more entertaining for me to do than doing this alone on my phone and then just, like, listening to a YouTube video. Because I can just, I can just talk to the camera. It's that easy. And by that, I mean it's actually quite difficult. I had a rocky start. But, I think I'm picking up the pace now. As we're getting into, like, the worst parts of the grind, where it's, like, 3.8 million to 4.8 million to 5.8 million. Oh my god. But hey, that's why we're doing this. Like, that's why we're trying to count, if I can remember to hit the lap button. But, yeah, no. We're just kind of chilling. Gotta make sure to stay hydrated, though. Also, these enemies are fucking terrifying. Like, just look at this thing. 300,000 combat effectiveness. High threat force field. Oh my god. I don't want to deal with that shit. Like, that's just terrifying. I know you can. If you build very specific echelons, you can bully the shit out of some of the units in this game. But that just seems like way too much. But what Warhammer stuff am I working on? I want to work on more Warhammer stuff. But I'm also doing this, which I would be doing either on stream or off stream. This is just to entertain me while I do this. But, what would I do if I was working on Warhammer right now? Well, they came out with the Christmas box sets, and no, they're too expensive, but that's just Warhammer in general. But if I could get one, I want that Night Haunt thing. I think the, you know, it's very weird. Like, there are just factions that I've just never looked at before, or just, like, glanced at for, Age of Sigmar and 40k. And whenever I, like, look at them, I'm like, you know, they're kind of mid. But I'll just see, like, one unit that is like, holy shit, I love this. And I really like the Grand Alliance Death stuff a lot. Like, I actually really like the Grand Alliance Death stuff. And I'm thinking to myself, Web, no. Bad. Absolutely not. Die. Perish. Suffer. Because I do not need more shit. But I'm like, some of those models look really fucking cool. And I'm like, I'm down with that, actually. I am. I'm completely down with that. And I'm like, But right now I'm trying to figure out a paint scheme for my Dark Eldar, my Eldar. You're gonna notice I have a problem. But I'm trying to find a paint scheme for my Eldar, my Dark Eldar. I painted one Dark Eldar test model, and I actually liked it. I just don't really know how I would make it, like, pop. I need to practice layering. I do. I need to practice layering. So, I need to do more layering and glazing to make it kind of pop more. But other than that, I'm actually kind of happy with it. If I could just brighten it up a little bit, because it's kind of like a dull yellow that I'm using. If I could just like make it, if I could make the highlights of it pop a little bit more, I would actually be pretty happy with it. It's like a yellow, like a dark yellow purple, like royal purple look. It was inspired by it was the Eldar fan art that I saw, but I wanted to do it for Dark Eldar, because I have a different idea of what I want to do Eldar for. But, you know, you might try, like, you got models to test, and, like, obviously, you should just try to paint. You should probably try to put paint on models. The less gray that you have, the better. Hello again, Dandelion. The less gray you have on the models, the better. Even if they're not painted in a uniform way. But I'm just thinking to myself, like, I need to get over that sort of mental block of, like, painting. Because what'll happen is I'll prepare the wet palette, I'll get ready to paint, and then I just won't do anything. And it's horrible. It's honestly horrible. I need to get over it. I need to Bennett Foddy's it, if you will. And hopefully I could just start, like, painting more stuff. I would really like to. I will be honest, I've probably, like, I've not been hitting the lap stuff for, like, a long time. It takes about, like, 40-ish seconds, so I'm just gonna hit it 3 times, and we'll see how it goes in the end. We're trying to get to lap 77 or whatever. We'll probably check around, like, lap, 60, just to see how beneficial my initial thing was. But I think the important thing with trying to get over, like, a mental block on painting is you just have to do it, and you have to see the final product, and you have to be like, that's worth it. Now, the problem with that is that you have to create the final product yourself, and then it has to be something, the final product has to be something that you can get passionate about, and then, and only then, can you start going hard on it, right? You can start going ham, and you can just, like, actually get it done. But, I don't know, I'm bad at coming up with paint schemes. I feel like I am anyways. And I can never commit to a paint scheme either. The closest I've gotten is with my... Well, that's not entirely true. My Grey Knights and my Tyranids have a paint scheme. But am I playing Tyranids? No. Because I don't like how Tyranids play. At least I didn't like how Tyranids played last time I played Warhammer, which could have changed, but I didn't really like how Tyranids played. But I did have a coherent and custom paint scheme that I came up with myself, and seeing the horde grow in painted size made me really happy. But I don't play Tyranids anymore, so I just paint a Tyranid for fun every now and again. And I can do that because I like my Tyranid scheme, and I like the army. But I don't really like how they play, so... At least last time I played. Maybe I'll try playing with them again, but Tyranid models are expensive. And then there was, whatchamacallit. Excuse me, Commander, please read this carefully. No, thank you. Then there was my... Necrons, which, I mean, they were just lead belcher, so I want to do a new Necron paint scheme, because just lead belcher does not work for me. I want to be extra. Then there were my orcs, and I love my orcs, absolutely. I ended up going with the main one, like the black and white checkerboard pattern, or paint scheme, for a while. And then, what I ended up doing was I ended up doing the yellow. What was it, Bad Moons? I think they're called the Bad Moons. I really liked how their yellow armor looked. And honestly, I could get back into painting Bad Moons. I absolutely could. 100%. You want to know why? Because I like how the yellow looks. And painting yellow with an airbrush is not bad. It's not hard. But after that, it was was it the Grey Knights after Orcs? I don't think it was. What was after Orcs? Because I've been through the ringer on Warhammer, alright? Again, I have a problem. But I guess then it was Skaven, and then the Skaven just never got painted. I feel so bad about that. Like, I have so many Rat Boys, I love them, but I have not... I've only painted, like, maybe 3 of the Swarm. Never found a paint scheme that I wanted. And I really like them. I like looking at them. And I would like to play Age of Sigmar someday. Then it was Ogres, and I got Ogres specifically to practice painting skin. And the problem that I had with that was that after I practiced painting skin, I then had no motivation to finish the army, which was a bummer. So it's like the Ogres are just there, and their skin is painted, and they look pretty okay. Actually, kind of good. But, you know, everything else is just, like, either Zenithaled or not, none of it's gray. I primed it. The only gray ogre that I have is, the boar thing. I haven't built, like, the boar cannon thing, but all of my other ogres are at least Zenithaled, and most of them have their skin painted. And the problem with getting models to paint their skin is that after you paint their skin, you have no motivation to do anything else, which is very, very, very predictable, and I should have figured that out. But after that, whatchamacallit, after I figured that out, it was then Grey Knights. And here's the thing, I painted them. I actually did. The only thing that my Grey Knights that aren't painted is I need to redo the Tech Marine, and I need to build the Grandmaster and the Baby Carrier, whatever it's called, with the giant hammer and sword. I just need to do those. I guess there's technically a Land Raider there, but I might give that... Oh, shit, I might give that to my Chaos faction, which a lot of it is built. And the Chaos faction, listen, I do not count the Chaos faction as something that is in the backlog, even though a lot of it is unbuilt, because the Chaos faction, I exclusively picked it up to be creative with it and just do, like, something when I'm inspired with it, right? Like, I picked up models explicitly because I wanted to just, like, have a Space Marine thing to mess around with that I could turn into whatever the hell I wanted, lore be damned, right? Like, one of my favorite Chaos models that I have is a Terminator Lord with dual lightning claws, right? But he has... his lower half of his body is a snake. You know, it's a mono Slaanesh army. And that was so cool. And I don't count that as a backlog at all, because that is literally just creativity, have fun making a crazy force for fun. It is something that one day I would like to play with, but I do not consider it a part of a backlog, because it is literally just like, I have a cool idea for a Terminator, I'm gonna do it, right? So as far as the Grey Knights and the Tyranids are concerned, actually coherent paint schemes and painted as an army. Everything else is a disaster. But the Chaos stuff's been a lot of fun, because you can do a lot of fun stuff with Chaos. Like, it's a very... like, Chaos as a faction is literally, like, you live in the horrifying dimension of, like, humanity's entire, like, thoughts, right? Like, thoughts, emotions, and feelings. And so you get into this crazy shit with Chaos, where it's like you can just do, like, a lot of... like, there's a lot of fun stuff that you can do. And so... it's, I don't really count it as something that's in the backlog, as like, oh shit, there's a new Venturella, oh god, that's not how you say Vince V's name, is it? I apologize, but, you know, hobby cheating master, the Technomancer Vince V, absolutely goated individual, the best tutorials that I've found, and he's helped me a lot. Like, I would not be anywhere near the mediocre level that I'm at if it wasn't for the Vince V tutorials, right? So-called free thinkers when the slick Technomancer lets you get into the technique and learn it Vince V style. But he released a video today talking about how to finish the army. And his number one thing was, if you have an army that is like half finished, just sell it. You're never gonna paint it. You're never gonna paint it. Just get rid of it. And listen, for those of you who aren't in the hobby, that maybe sounds insane, but it is 100% accurate, and my life would be easier if I followed that advice. But I never will, because I like having a sword of Damocles fucking hanging over my head. And it is the most true and real advice of all time. It's like, do not have that fucking project hanging over your head and making you feel guilty and giving you decision paralysis. Just, if you did it and it's like half done and you haven't finished it, just get rid of it. Unless you're actively using it. Like, if you're actively using it, obviously keep it. But you have no idea. Like, if you're not in the hobby, you have no idea how much of a sage advice that is. Like, absolutely. Like, that is the best advice somebody will ever tell you about the hobby, is if you just have something lying around collecting dust that you painted, like, half a year ago, and you never use it, just get rid of it. But me, absolutely not. I like having a sword of Damocles. It's a sword! That means it's cool! But yeah, that's, love that. Absolutely love that video. But I do need to get into a better work ethic for painting minis. And saying work ethic is, like, bad, because it's like you don't want your hobby to be work, but at the same time, it's like, if you don't do it, then, you know... You do have to, like, put effort into the things that you do. Unfortunately. But what was I gonna say? I just randomly thought of this. I am so glad I am doing this on the emulator on my computer, because if I were doing this on my phone, and here's the thing, just so you know, the Girls Frontline team just doesn't want you using macros, which I haven't set up any of those. The GFL team just doesn't want you using macros. And other than that, they're cool with emulators, as long as you don't use them to cheat. Which I'm not using them to cheat. I'm just playing the game on the emulator. But, like, if I was doing this on my phone, I would have to have my phone plugged in, because my phone would have, like, died 3 times over. Like, this game is so battery-intensive on my phone, it's absolutely insane. Like, it's completely ridiculous how battery-intensive this game is on my phone. Now, that's not necessarily the fault of the game, although there is a lot this game is simulating. The reason why is because my phone is old, and I haven't gotten a new one in a long time, and so that means that, listen, alright, most controversial thing I'm ever gonna say, I have an Apple phone, okay? And the thing is, when your Apple phone gets old, Apple, and this is something that they've admitted to doing, and people will defend for the purposes of, you know, being a fanboy, and I guess safety, you know, being safe, all that lame shit. Following safety regulations, blah, 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 being safe. But essentially, as your Apple phone gets older, Apple will start purposefully throttling the battery and limiting how much you can charge it. Now, on a normal phone, this wouldn't be a big deal because you could just swap the battery out. You can't do that on an Apple phone. So, basically the idea is your phone is a disposable thing that has a life cycle. And the more you use it and the more you charge it, the faster your battery will degrade. And that's kinda cringe. I really wish you could... Like, honestly, I'm gonna use this phone for as long as I can. I will literally use my phone for as long as I can. Because it was expensive, it's good, and I've dropped it, like, hundreds of times, and it still works, and it doesn't have a scratch on the screen yet, so I'm very lucky. Most of the phone's life cycle is in an OtterBox, though, so at least it's not that surprising, because OtterBox is just simply built different. That is a sponsorship I would be ecstatic to take in real life. Just letting you know, I love OtterBox. The problem is, though, is that a company like OtterBox doesn't need to advertise, because their product speaks for itself. Like, talk to anybody with a fucking OtterBox, and they'll tell you that they dropped their phone, and it was really bad, but their phone was untouched because their phone case is just simply built different. It truly is. OtterBox is based. OtterBox is absolutely based. There is, absolutely love me OtterBox. Simple as. And here's the thing, they never have to sponsor anybody, because anybody with an OtterBox will just tell you that they love it. The only complaint that you can have is that it's too big, or too chunky, or too, like, thick. But if you're wanting a device, or like a case, to protect your phone at all costs, then, and you don't care about the size, then, like, yeah, just get an OtterBox. Alright, we're gonna check now. We're at lap 57. I am not counting this accurately. We're probably above lap 57, but I want to see. Let's see how we did. We are not there yet. We are almost there, though. I think we gotta do it 2 more times. But, that's crazy. Honestly, it means that, like, my run, where I killed, like, a bunch of enemies and established a supply line for, like, 1 turn... Although, I don't actually think I did, because they took it immediately on their turn, so I don't even think I got any points for it. But that run that I did saved me probably about, like, 15 laps, if I had to guess. 15 of these. So that's pretty cool. But, yeah, what are products that I would take a sponsorship for? And by me saying this out loud, I will never get a sponsorship for. OtterBox is a good one, because that's something that I've actually just, like, used in my real life. Outside of that, I mean, I'd probably take a Girls Frontline sponsorship. I like the game. I've played it for too much. But, I don't think they do sponsorships. I've never seen a Girls Frontline sponsorship before. I can't imagine anybody's looking up Girls Frontline content if they aren't already a Girls Frontline Andy. But, although the new game is out, right? Neural Cloud? I saw an ad for it, so they're obviously advertising it. It's like Girls Frontline's answer to Arknights, I guess? Because it's like a roguelite tower defense or whatever. I'll probably pick it up because it is a prequel to Wait, is it a prequel? I thought it had Perskia in it? I don't remember her name. But, do we got it all? Oh, baby, alright. So let's get those rewards, gamers. So, you know, we start off with the basic command reports and then coalition stuff that I don't know anything about. Get some data, get some parts, more command reports. Oh, you love to see it. We're rolling in the basic training data. Absolutely love to see it. Then we get more of this. These are all just consumable items that you're gonna, like, devour. The Witch Fairy possesses the ability to tell fortunes and levy curses, can be used to pressurize slacking dolls in daily life. What does she do? I don't know what she does. And then it's just data? Oh, it's data and combat reports all the way to the freaking bank. You love to see this. Oh my god, that's actually beautiful. Especially these. These are more difficult to get. Although I guess these are difficult to get too, because it's all time-gated nonsense. Random talent Witch Fairy, hold on. I need to actually see what the Witch Fairy does. And then we'll call the stream out. Yo, what up? I had, like, basically no parts for a long time. And now I'm just, like, focusing on trying to get as many parts as possible. I have, like, way too much manpower for some reason. But I need to get more in general just so I can start doing heavy constructions, because those are fun. But, let's see. Let's find out. Okay. So, the Witch Fairy. Black Potion. At the start of the next battle, deal 60 points of damage that ignores armor and evasion to all enemy units, and apply corrosion, inflicting corrosion damage that equals 5% of their lost HP every 3 seconds. Corrosion damage ignores armor, evasion, and shields. Okay. Alright. It's not lethal, sure, but, like, I guess since it's not lethal, it can't really help it against, like, really... you can't cheese shielded enemies with it if you don't at least have, like, a hawk to break the shield, but... That's crazy. So, wait. Inflicting corrosion damage equals 5% of the target's lost HP every 3 seconds. Does it end? Does it end? I'll take your entire stock, please. Oh no, they have to be trained alongside other people, right? Oh my god. Anyways, thank you for watching. My name is Webweaver. We've done the grind. I have everything in the scoring event that I want. If I remember, I'll try to get Colibri and General Liu? But those are always a pain in the ass. Like, you have to run those maps like 200 times. And they even have a pity system for it, where you can go down to, like, the freaking store over here. Actually, in hindsight. That doesn't... Yeah, okay, the store doesn't show anything sensitive, right? You never know. But, yeah, they've even got, like, a fucking pity system, where you can, if you, like, kill 500 enemies and Colibri doesn't drop, you can just buy her. And if you kill 500 enemies and General Leo doesn't drop, you can just buy her. Do I have FAR 83? I have KH2000, and I have the other one. I got really lucky on the loot boxes. I got, normally you have to open 777 loot boxes to get the doll. But I got the loot box exclusive character from, just, like, the 10th or, like, 15th box I opened. So it wasn't hard at all. So anyways, thank you so much for watching. My name's been Webweaver. We're gonna just do the little Emmerdale there real quick. And how long did this take us? My timer says 1 hour and 3 minutes, but you know, over here it's 1 hour and 12 minutes. That's how long the stream is. So that's pretty fun. Girls Frontline is a perfectly balanced game that has no issues whatsoever, and it's definitely not horrendously buggy and scuffed as hell. But that's why we love it. So thanks so much for watching. Stay safe out there, and I'll see you on the next episode of World of Horror. This is not a World of Horror episode, but you are statistically most likely to watch the next episode of World of Horror. So, you know, see ya.